Alrighty, so I haven't put you on mute, so just talk to me if you need anything. Let's first of all open up adductors and around here. So take your feet wide-ish, slide down, stick your behind you. As soon as we have pelvis forward, we get congestion around here and we start to literally close the pelvic floor. So keep your behind you, like so. We'll just do some nice lateral stretches to get into the lower back area, up and over, breathing in, lifting and stretching into the rib cage and down, up and over, lovely lateral stretch. Feel as if your hands are kind of pushing through space or treacle. Imagine that kind of pushing through treacle. So you're not going like that, you're just going, whoa, lovely opening stretch, breathing in, and then take it through to the toes, so the whole side body gets a stretch, and you open up the side waist, like so. That's the way. Wonderful. Come down, put the weight on your heels, big breath in. Again, we're just opening up the rib cage out to the side, stretching from the hip bones upwards, lifting the rib cage away from the pelvis. So we open up the side waist. Breathing in. Let's do double breath in. Hands down, rolling the upper body around. So mobilizing head and shoulders. So we can start doing some postural work. Really important that we have nice, strong back muscles, just as strong as the front of our core, up and around, floating in one direction and then the other. Let it all massage out, lifting and dropping one shoulder and then the other like that, like a figure of 8. Wonderful. Bum behind. We're going to switch to one side, pull up the toes, so we get that inner thigh stretch. Maybe you can give it a rub. Lovely. Switch to the other side. So we'll do this dynamically a couple of times. Toes are up and spread. We want to get these inner thigh muscles to lengthen. Up and over, other side. Imagine someone's got your tail and they're pulling it back and up to the intersection of the wall and the ceiling. And again, just give these guys a nice opening stretch. So we're mobilizing from the hip joints, not from the lower back. Back is straight. Base of the rib cage is in. And then we'll pause here, top hand down, so bent knee, same leg, same arm, and then opening from the rib cage upwards, we're mobilizing. So take that elbow behind you like that. So just get a bit of a twist through the upper back. Take the hand up towards the ceiling and then looking down towards the opposite toe. Make sure this knee is not dropping in. So we have weight through the outside of the foot and through the heel. That's it. Nice big, good. And then slide to the other side. Pull those toes back. The sitting bones are lifted. Arm drops down and then lift the elbow down. Lift the elbow. Rotation through that thoracic spine. Lift it. And then let's see if we can just extend through to the fingers and look down.
Linda, I've just realised I don't think you're recording it. I don't know if you needed to.
Why not? Do you know what? Let's not worry about it.
Yes, it is being recorded.
Is it?
Yes, it says this meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Well, don't worry. Let's just do this now. So, bum behind, we're sliding down. And then you're pushing the back of your shoulders up. So we want to mobilize the spine like a snake. Push the floor away with your feet. Stick your bum out, chest out, and then rounding through the back. Snake-like movement. So do it this way initially. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. Good. And a little bit further down, and then maybe even taking the arms up so we get this full stretch through the spine. Breathing in, stretch your fingertips to the ceiling and push your feet down into the earth. Breathing in and stretch and release. Breathing in and stretch. Stay up and just do some backward swimming mobilization through the shoulder girdle. Like so. And then we're just going to go into the lower back and the pelvis. Take your feet wide, like so. I'll stay sideways so you can see me. Hands just above the knees. Lift and spread the sitting bones. And then tuck, so we do get a round and a stretch through here. And then round through to the crown of the head. And then pull your chest up and drop your shoulders. And then the other direction. So we're emphasizing the pulling up of the chest, dropping of the shoulders, and then rounding. A little bit deeper with your goddess squatting legs. Inhale, drop those shoulders, lift and spread at the front. Feel the muscles between your shoulders, getting a bit of a squeeze. And then remaining here, dropping down, I'm just going to drop one shoulder, look over the other shoulder. Into the center, drop the other shoulder. So mobilizing through the spine, really super important. And dropping. And dropping. Good. Roll yourself up. We're going to need a little bit of wall space. So I'm going to need you to stretch through the spine so we can start to get into really good alignment. Fingertips on your bit of wall. Keep your knees bent. Toes are slightly in. So big toes are slightly in, so the outside of your feet are pretty much perfectly aligned with the side of your mat. We want to draw our feet back, so that your feet are directly underneath the pelvis. And then imagine someone who's got your tail, gently pulling it backwards. We're looking for the stretch through the lumbar spine, so you can create a tractioning effect around the lower back. Keep the knees bent for a moment. Armpits opening. Good. We want to draw the base of the ribcage slightly back, so be wary of flaring. You see how I'm bending here, and I'm flaring my chest. So I want to draw the base of my ribcage back, the back of the ribcage slightly up. So there is activation through the core muscles. And then we're just getting this lovely lengthening stretch through the lower back area. And we can amplify it by dropping the hips to one side. So I'm bending my left knee, keeping my right leg straight and pulling the right hip slightly back. And then I might even move my right fingers slightly to the left to get a whole side body stretch. See how that feels? And then bending back with both legs. Keeping the right knee bent and straightening that left leg, bringing the left hip back. Slightly walking my left fingers to the right side to increase that lengthening stretch through the side body. Breathing. Ooh, coming down. Right, roll yourself up. Now, psoas muscles attach into the lower back, so let's open those as well. We'll come into a high lunge, toes are going straight forward. My left foot is right up by the wall here. I'm on my back toes with the heel up, and then just dropping knee towards the wall. And we'll do this dynamically a couple of times, so don't go deep into the stretch straight away. Just kind of nudge into as soon as you start to feel your quadriceps and your hip flexors here, and then draw back, and then go down again, and draw back, and then draw back. So we're just kind of warming up the muscles, and then drop down, and we're just going to hold it here and use your deep breath. So you start to cultivate that long, big inhalation, and maybe even lifting up the hand so that we can create this big, long line of energy and a kind of fascial system stretch. Good. And we want to create length. Again, rib cage away from hip bones. We want to create this spacious length. And then I'm going to get you to do a tiny tip with your fingertips going over to the left side. You might want to push back a tiny bit more with the back heel. Breathe. Good, and then slowly taking that side down. Bring your back foot in a bit and then just press down through the heel. So we just go into the calf muscle, the Achilles. These guys always get tight, so it's just nice to have a little moment of release, pressing down through the heel. It feels like the whole calf muscle is kind of like pouring down through the Achilles heel and down into the ground. And then hands on the wall. And we're just going to imagine we're pushing the wall over. So push the wall over and feel like your whole deep transverse abdominal muscles, the recti muscles, your legs, everything is drawing in and up. Little puppy breaths out. We want to get all of this area activating so we can support the spine. And we do that by pushing the wall away and little puppy breaths. Keep the chin drawn in as well. So don't let your head poke forward. Make sure your head is bang on top of your neck. Activation. Imagine your corset is tightening. Tightening. Keep breathing though. We just want to support the spine. Very good. We'll come to the other side, but first of all, just give yourself another lateral stretch. So like a half moon. Keep plugging down. My left hand on the wall, and I'm coming up and over. And then push down through your outer foot, my right leg, pushing down, and I'm stretching up with that right hand. And then the more you push your hip into the middle of the room, the deeper that side stretch is. And then bend the knees to come out of that. And just take a moment to notice how that side feels compared to the other side. Since we've opened the psoas and we've lengthened a little bit here, and just giving that whole side a bit of a stretch. So let's do that on the other side now. So taking the right foot forward, left foot back. Coming into a high lunge. So first of all, just nudging knee towards the wall. It's like, you know, when blue tack gets hard. So just imagine we're just doing a little bit of kind of softening, getting a little bit of heat into those hip. So the psoas muscles are the main hip flexors. So when I say sometimes I say psoas, sometimes I say hip flexors. It's the same thing. All right, so knee now dropping forward. We'll hold this. Focus on your hip flexor. Remember, it attaches into the lower back here. And then reach the left hand up. Press the heel back. And then start to breathe. We want to infuse the muscle fibers with that inhalation. Visualize your spine lengthening, creating space between the vertebrae. And then maybe adding a little tilt, fingertips slightly over to the right side to increase the openness around the side of the body, lengthening the lumbar spine. Breathe, lengthen. Woo. Oh, that literally the opposite of sitting, isn't it? So it's good. Slowly coming out of that one, and we're going to just press the heel down, lift it, press the heel down. You might need to shorten your stance slightly. So we're going into the calf muscle. Again, we're just kind of warming up the bulk of the calf muscle, warming up the Achilles, going to the sole of the foot as well, and then dropping the heel down and hands on the wall and start to, so hands are at shoulder height, chin is back, head on top of neck. Start to engage core muscles, pushing the wall over, little puffy breaths out, feeling all of this activating around the spine. Little lift through the pelvic floor as well. So engage your pelvic floor, lifting upwards, upwards, inwards, inwards, upwards. Fabulous. Okay, and then a lateral stretch. So half moon, pushing the outside of the foot into the ground, lengthening upwards, and then maybe popping that hip out a tiny bit more. Whole side body stretch. Good. Bend the knees, slightly come back. Now we're just going to activate glutes, because often when psoas muscles, if it is psoas clear, when they get overused, it's because we haven't been, if we've been bending and things, we've been doing a bit of that instead of using the glutes to come up and down. So we'll just activate gluteus maximus and medius, might help. So fingers on the wall again, nice and tall. Weight down through your left foot, bend your knees, stick your right heel straight back. And we're just going to squeeze the glutes and maybe hands on gluteus maximus, so the bulk of your bum. We're just going to kick back, donkey kicks, kick back. So it's not like you're doing your foot like that, you're squeezing your bum to make it work. And we want to, again, have a bit of activation through all of the core as we do this. Slightly soft through your standing leg knee, so try not to lock that. Keep going. I'm just going to shut the door because there's a tree surgeon outside. My hubby bubbly bought me a coffee. That's nice. All right, so, all right, give that leg a little shake and then come into your figure skating. Yeah, so a little bit out to the side, 45-degree angle. Come onto your toes here. Gluteus medius, the top of your bum here. Again, these guys are so key for stabilizing your whole pelvic area and lower back. So soften the standing knee. Squeeze the top of your bum to lift the toe off the ground. Put your hand just here. We've got this kind of pizza slice muscle, gluteus medius. So we want this to kind of be jumping up into our hand as we do this little inline skating action. And if that feels stronger, take your foot off the ground and just leave it off the ground as we do little pulses. Pulse, 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 pulse. Good. And then lift that knee up and we'll do some big adductions, so big knee lifting, rolling forward, mobilizing through the hip joint, like so. Up and over, and give that leg a shake. Okay, so back to that side. Let's do the other side. Foot up, knee at the thigh, and then just squeezing gluteus maximus, just the main part of your bum muscle. Push down through your standing leg heel as well. So we might as well do a good bit of strengthening on our standing leg whilst we work on the stabilizing glute maximus. Whew. So we tend to lose our glutes as we age, and we've got to work on keeping good, strong glutes. They're the main stabilizers of the pelvis. They attach into our sitting bones, and the sitting bones attach straight into our pelvic floor muscles. So they are so key to how the pelvic floor can support all of our organs. All right, let's take that foot out to the side, 45-degree angle, gluteus medius, the top pizza slice, and take your fingers on the top of your bum out to the side, and little squeezes here. Can you guys feel that? Give me a thumbs up if you can feel. Yeah? Okay, let me see your form. So, yeah. Try to have your weight, so I mean, fingers on walls, absolutely fine, great, but see if you could take your finger off so that you are having to be nice and tall here and you're not actually kind of leaning forward. So do a little bit of activation through your posture as well. Good. Nice, and then give it a shake, and we're doing the adduction. So big massaging rolls. This is for the rotator muscles that go around the hip joint and like that. Whew. All righty. Couple more, keep using the wall. Get your brick. Okay, so we're going to switch on adductors and go right up into pelvic floor and all of these deep core muscles. First of all, tall against the wall, so just establish your posture. Bum that we've just been switching on, sacrum straight into the wall. Keep the heels 2 inches away from the wall. Make sure your toes are going straight forward. As soon as we go even a little bit like penguins, not pigeons, penguin, as soon as you do that, even a little bit, it squeezes the sacrum and creates congestion, tightness, all around the area you're describing there. So keep your toes going straight forward and a micro bend at the back of your knees. Okay, so we want to take the back of the rib cage here. Here's our rib cage, back of the rib cage into the wall. And we have a nice little lumbar curve at the bottom. So we do want to be able to put our hand just behind the lower back where the pain is. So that does not go flat against the wall. We have a little lumbar curve there. Lift and roll the shoulders, drop them down, palms are forward, chin in. We want the ridge of the head, hopefully, heading towards the wall, if not against the wall. So just hold this Tadasana, mountain pose position for a few breaths, and we can imprint the wall, and our brain can start to recalibrate where we are in space. Push down through your feet, slightly out, down and slightly out. So it feels like the little toe edge has a little bit more pressure on it than the big toe edge. And your heels are like plugged down into the ground. They feel like they are holding most of your weight. All right, so good. Let's just come off the wall for a moment. Take a moment to stand here and just see if you can feel core muscles actually doing their job. Yeah, they are supporting spine. Just as we're standing here, they should always be slightly switched on. Take a break between your thighs, about there rather than through the knees, a little bit higher, and we're going to come against the wall. So again, establish your spine so that we have the base of the rib cage going against the wall, tiny bit of lumbar curve. We're just going to inch our way down, squeeze into the brick, so pelvic floor activates, and we start to activate upwards. Try to keep your knees on top of your heels. Heels are plugging into the ground. That activates the hamstrings and the glutes. Shoulders are down. And we're just wanting all of those stabilizing muscles around the spine to do their job. All of our core is doing their job. And I like to just kind of while away the time by pressing my knees. My brain is like, oh, he's making a noise. So I'll focus on that. And then it kind of ignores the fact that I've got my other muscles switching on. So do a little puppy breath out. Please come up as soon as your body tells you to. Switching it all on. And then we'll look from, yes. Okay, so feet nice and wide. And I'm going to get you to hinge from the hip joints and keeping your back straight. We just come forward. Sitting bones are on the wall. So old us would have done that, but no longer. We're like hinging from the hip joints here. Sitting bones on the wall. All right, so just going to open up everything a bit more. Give our spine a little bit more mobilization. So this time shoulders are going upwards. So we're getting a mobilizing rotation here and then dropping down, inhaling. Don't push it, we're just nudging it, okay? So I don't want you wrenching, we're just nudging up and down. Other side. Elbow up and then down. Just getting that sort of massaging, opening, warming up. the muscles, up and down. Okay, slide down a little bit more, inner thighs opening up, maybe forearms here. Breathe into the back of your lungs, so breathe into the base of the rib cage. Feel with your breath that you're expanding all of this area, shoulders are down. Good, and then we're just going to slowly come down. Actually, I'll tell you what, do Karen, not you, you're coming onto your forearms, but the rest of you, walking yourself into down dog. Okay, so bum is up. Karen, come into an extended child instead. And the rest of you, bum up. You've got somebody, imagining you've got somebody holding onto your tail, pulling it to the intersection of the wall and the ceiling. So it's all about space between the vertebrae. We've opened up the calf muscles a bit, so let's do that a bit more. Pressing one heel down and then the other. Push down and then slightly out with your hands. So imagine you've got plates underneath your hands and you're spinning them externally, so outwards to the outer edge of your mat. Give your head a tractioning shake so we can just loosen up the cervical spine. Walk your feet towards each other and then out. And then bend one knee and drop it across the midline of the body. So just again getting a stretch into the side of the sideways glute, just around that lower back area and the other way. Bending the knee, massaging across, and then all of us come down and go into that extended child. So fingertips out in front, shoulders away from ears, and you, just like we did against the wall, we're trying to traction the spine. Nice deep full breath. Good. Alrighty. So we're going to just slide ourselves onto our tummies. I'm just going to move my camera down. So keep sliding down. Take a moment in the hands underneath your forehead and toes in, heels out. So when we go toes in, heels out, we open the sacrum. We just get a nice stretch through here. The toes in, heels out, and just rock the pelvis from side to side. So I'm just pulling with that. Rock the hips from side to side. See if you can get a sort of a jiggle around your bum and on either side of your spine. We want to just get the muscles feeling like they're being massaged. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. And then pausing here, keep the toes in, keep the heels dropping out. So our femurs are adducting, they're going inwards, top of the legs, the femur going inwards, and then disengaging the glutes. We're just going to work on the pelvic floor. So now we do that little, I call it closing the hose. So we want to activate pelvic floor from the front around the urethra. Imagine you're stopping yourself weeing, and then you're pulling that contraction upwards and then releasing down. So imagine you've got those tight high-waisted jeans. You've got to stop yourself weeing and then zip up, zip up, zip up, zip up, and then unzip. Breathe out, little puffy breath out as if you're blowing out the candle as you zip up your jeans. Breathing out. So again, we're activating through the pelvic floor, then up into the multifidi muscles that support the lower back, deep transverse abdominal muscles, and then we're also going into these obliques. So as you zip your jeans up, feel your corset slightly contracting inwards. So you feel like you're supporting the spine, and then you're releasing, and then you're lifting and supporting the spine, releasing. Remembering the pelvic floor muscles are the beginning of the whole core system. Just notice if you are finding that your bum muscles, I mean, they will want to try and activate. That's why we've got our toes in, so we're not just, if my toes out and I did pelvic floor, it's a lot harder to deactivate the glutes. My bum wants to squeeze, and if we do that, we're not actually allowing those pelvic floor muscles and the deep core muscles to get trained. Good stuff. Okay, so release that. Tops of the feet pushing into the ground. So it's interesting, in class yesterday, I said tops of the feet into the ground. Everyone was like putting their toes. So no, I mean your toenails and then the tops of your feet into the ground. Push them into the ground and feel like your knees are sucking up off the ground. So we have a little bit of activation through the legs. We're going to lift and roll the shoulders right into the back of the socket. So do that a few times. Lift and roll back. Lift and roll back. Now hold them back. Little finger edge of your hands going up towards the ceiling. Hands are electric. Now activate pelvic floor and zip upwards as if you've got those tight high-waisted jeans on. Tummy button drawing in and up slightly. And then we're going to breathe in. Squeeze those glutes. And activate through the upper back muscles and lift yourself up off the ground. So clear, you're looking for more length rather than too much extension. So we're trying to create space between the crown of the head and the toes, and then slowly come down. So again, breathing in, activate, just nudging the edge of the activation for you, for you today. So if you're comfortable coming further up, do that. If you've got any pain, we're looking for activation and length, but not full. This is the very best I can do. Dropping down, one more time. Stretching, crown of the head rocketing in one direction, toes rocketing in the other direction. And then down. Fab. Hands under the forehead again, toes in, heels out, and just give the whole of the back of your body a jiggle. Breathing in, doing a sighing breath out or a buzzy bee breath out. Extended exhalation with a little bit of vocal toning. Activates the vagus nerve. Gives the brain that signal to tell the rest of the body, it is time to relax. Very good. Let's just roll onto our backs. Rick. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through a little sequence that if you ever have lower back spasm, this is a good one to do. So which one do I start off? Start off with Rick on the middle side, just underneath the sacrum. So you push through your heels, lift your pelvis up, and just pop your sacrum, so not your lower back, sacrum area onto your brick. If that feels too much, put it down on the lower side. Yeah, so just be really mindful that what we're looking for is an opportunity for those psoas muscles. Remember, they insert into the lower back around the lumbar spine. We want those muscles just to soften with gravity. So we're very consciously melting the back of the body. I was describing it so like melted wax. So just imagine the back of your body is like melted wax and it's melting down to the ground. So we want those muscles here just to go whoosh. And use your breath to encourage this. So loose jaw, remember jaw, or this area connects all the way down into the pelvic area, the pelvic floor area, and psoas muscles, they're all attached. You might even let your knees drop out a tiny bit. So you're saying to your brain, shh, I'm just chill, I'm really chill, it's all good, I can just let go. So we want to spend about 30 seconds to a minute here. If you're going to do this again later yourself, try and stay for about a minute. So you're going into a deep state of release. And then We bring our knees back, push the heels into the ground, remove the brick, slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Let your back muscles release into the ground, then take your brick between your knees, this way, between your knees, and flex your feet, and then we are pressing inwards on the brick and bringing the brick into the chest. So inwards on the brick with our knees and knees brought into the chest. So now we're activating those adductors, the inner thigh muscles. Remember, they attach into the pelvic floor and they attach into the psoas muscles. So now we've got a contraction going on. So what we're doing is contracting the muscle, stretching, contracting, stretching. So a little contraction here. Shoulders stay relaxed. So try not to do that. Good. So a little contraction. And you might want to do the puppy breath out here. So if you were taking it up a notch, you'd also be keeping the diaphragm high and keeping the pelvic floor muscles slightly lifted. It's quite hard to stay in this position for 30 seconds even, let alone a minute, but that's what we're kind of aiming for. For this exercise, I'm just going to do 15 seconds or so. So drop the feet, go back to the first position. So side brick, peel the spine up, place the sacrum onto your brick, and then again, we go straight into that deep relaxation. So we can switch ourselves from the parasympathetic state to the sympathetic state, parasympathetic state to sympathetic state, simply by our intention and what we're doing with our breathing. So now we're relax the jaw, long, smooth exhalation. We feel like we're melting, we might visualize melting wax. We just let everything, all the facial muscles soften, muscles between the brows soften. Keep softening while I have a sip of my coffee. Well, that's nice. And that's that nice exhale coffee, which is good. All right, so softening. 5 more exhalations here, so just be really conscious. You can make each exhalation almost like another peeling of the onion layer by layer. Very consciously softening the body, releasing those psoas muscles, and then push the feet into the ground, slowly roll back down again, and we'll go back again into brick between knees. Open your feet. We want the soles of the feet to be active here, squeezing the brick with your knees, inner thighs, and then just bring those knees in. Let your shoulders drop down away from your ears, so we get a nice stretch through the cervical spine as well. Chin is in. It's kind of like getting tall against the wall, but we're getting tall against the floor. Activate. You may be adding in the little puppy breath out. A little bit of an activation through the pelvic floor. Okay. This came out of that one. Do one more. One more release. Pelvis onto the brick. Releasing. 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 So I'm going to get you to just do 5 more releasing breaths. And then I'm going to keep our pelvis lifted. I'm just going to do a bit of activation as well. So do 5 more. Palms up, dropping down. Healing the layers of the onion. Every exhalation, you are melting. You're visualizing those psoas muscles. Releasing, dripping down towards the ground. Okay. A little activation through my pelvic floor before I sneezed. Automatic. All right, so let's do that. Stay in this position. So now you are lifting more through the back of the pelvic floor, so through the vagina and through the anus. Don't squeeze your bum. And we're just pulling upwards. So we want to get that activation and lift coming up through the anus, through the, almost like it's sucking up through the bowel, up around the lumbar spine, the lower back. Activation up, release down. Focusing on the back of the pelvic floor and zipping up and down. So we want to feel that up and around that lumbar area. Down. Activation, release. Activation and release. And then take your brick on the flatter side, the lower side. Bring the right knee in, let the left leg drop down. And then we'll just do a nice full body stretch on that left side. Breathe, lengthen, maybe take fingers and toes over to the right for that extra lateral stretch. And then back, both knees up, legs out, massage the ankles. So we're going inner thigh stretch, psoas muscle stretch, but the brain is just like, oh, what you doing with your ankles? Oh, let's just focus on that. Shoulders relaxed. And then other side, so dropping the right toes down, left knee stays up, opening up into the groin, and then see if you can breathe to stretch that right side. Fingers and toes, feel like you've got an elastic band, and they're stretching apart, and then maybe a little lateral stretch. And all the way back. Beautiful. Take the brick out. Slowly let your back settle into the ground. Just take a moment here. Where everything just feels like it's settling. If you feel comfortable, feet together and knees out, do Supta Baddha Konasana, it's called, like reclining goddess. If that feels a bit too pinchy, just let your legs flop or keep your knees bent. Take a moment to let the back just settle and visualize in your mind the train tracks, the multifidi muscles on the either side of the spine. They are the main stabilizers. Just let the ground hold you. So feel those muscles being held. Let them just relax. When we have our palms up, it also signals for the brain to open up the lower lobes of the lungs. So if you notice, if you put your palms down, we tend to breathe into the upper chest. Palms up, it feels like we can just kind of access down into our belly and out to the sides of the ribs a bit more. Maybe do a couple of hums. Right. We're going to wrap. So shake your sillies out, bring your knees up, take your arms up, put your legs and arms up towards the ceiling. Just hold your hands into fists here, gentle fists, and then just give your whole body a fascia rinse. Shake your sillies out. Breathe in, wriggle your jaw, breathing out like this. See if you can jiggle so much that you can actually feel it in your lower back. And the knees in, tuck yourself, and again, if it feels comfortable, rock and roll. If it doesn't, just go to one side. Try not to move your bum from one side of your mat to the other so that you massage across the lower back as well. Massage like that. You need to keep your chin tucked in for this, and your shoulders are rolled forward. And then we go all the way up. And give your upper body a big swirl. Because we've been rounding our shoulders just so we want to re-establish shoulders dropping down, head onto the neck. Just take a moment. Spine long, core slightly activated, shoulders, face relaxed. Excellent. Turn your palms up. Let's take a double breath in. Pull the fingers up towards the ceiling. Lift your eye gaze, hold the top of the breath, and go, wow. Rock stars. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Linda. I feel so much better.